This video is brought to you by lavelsoccer.co.uk, one of the world's best online international soccer retailers, offering free boot personalization on any order. Hey guys, Josh from soccerreviewsforyou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the Nike CTR360 Maestri 3 in the brand new white, black, and total crimson colorway. Like all the top-end models from Nike, a string bag is included. This particular one is white with the CTR360 and Nike branding there in the middle. I'll get that out of the way. I'll get the shoes out of the box. And if you guys could take a second to leave a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. So here is a look at the latest colorway of the Maestri 3. The first thing I thought of when I saw these is that it reminded me very much of a recently released colorway in the Nike Tiempo Legend 4. I'll leave an annotation on screen to that exact shoe for those of you guys that don't know which one I'm referring to. But for the most part, I have to say this is my personal favorite colorway release of the Maestri 3 so far. Leave a comment down below. Let me know which one you like the best in the Maestri 3 series of colorways. So very simple. You have your white upper with this kind of very light metallic silver / pearl white here going through the middle. Accents well with the very bright white. And then of course you do have your total crimson orange and black accents throughout, which I think looks very good. Clean, simple colorway, and like I said, my personal favorite of the bunch that we've seen so far. Now, if you are interested in how this shoe actually does perform and want more details other than the small opinions that I give in the unboxing videos, I strongly recommend going ahead and checking out the full written performance review on my website, guys, soccerreviewsforyou.com. That full written performance review is really where you're going to find all the details as far as how these shoes fit, feel, and perform. So if you haven't gone and checked that out, I will leave a direct link down below in the description. Now, to touch on the technical specifications of the shoe itself, the upper is made from Nike's second generation Kangolite material. Kangolite, if you don't know, is Nike's synthetic material designed to mimic the feel of kangaroo leather. And while that does sound a little bit silly to try and imitate a material that is readily available, it actually does make sense because you can have that feel of kangaroo leather with the added benefits of a synthetic, in that it requires no maintenance, it cleans very easily, it does not overstretch, it's a little bit lighter weight, and it doesn't absorb as much water. So for that reason as well, it dries a lot quicker. So there are benefits to synthetics, while a lot of people are kind of really stuck on leather, and leather is definitely one of the best materials you can use for a soccer shoe. Nike synthetics are really good. A lot of companies are making some really good synthetics nowadays, but as far as Kangolite 2.0, it is my personal favorite synthetic currently out there on the market. It is super soft and flexible and just comes so close to kangaroo leather. Really comfortable and just provides a great touch on the ball. If you are looking to move into a synthetic soccer shoe and you've never tried one before, you've always worn leather, I would strongly recommend trying out a Kangolite shoe from Nike because they really are that good. Now, as far as these little dimples you have here on the outside, I'm not sure what they're supposed to do. They don't really do much other than look cool, so don't kind of worry about that on the shoe itself. You do have a little bit of cross stitching right here just to provide a little bit of a support band through the forefoot, again, in order to prevent the shoe from overstretching. And it doesn't stretch all that much, but there is some stretch to it, unlike a lot of synthetics currently out there on the market. You can see that the lacing system is pushed to the instep as opposed to being on the outside or through the middle, and that's running with the idea that this is a control boot. And again, by no means do I like to label these shoes going along with these marketing ploys that companies throw out there, but the idea of the shoe itself is to provide a more clean zone here on the front of the shoe where you are making a lot of touches on the ball, and it definitely does provide a good feel. Just keep in mind that it's not going to actually improve your control or touch on the ball, so just keep that in mind. Now, on the instep here, you're going to find your passing / control element in the form of these rubber fins going throughout. You're going to find 8 fins that kind of raise off the shoe ever so slightly. You have kind of these little kind of I don't even know what you would call them, these little nubs kind of at the outsides of the shoe, just to provide a little bit more grip. It's trying to provide kind of like a cupped zone area on the instep of the shoe to provide that extra control of the ball, if you will. And again, it doesn't really provide any control for the ball and it's not a control aid, if you will, but it does add a little bit of grip, which you might like or you might not like. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of this area on the shoe, but it doesn't really bother me, and the grip kind of wears off once you start wearing the shoe more and more. Now, as far as ACC goes, all-con distance control, I know this is a big feature for everybody. You're not going to find that branding on the tongue on the top end Maestri. Instead, the branding is going to be here on the outside, and the shoe itself does feature ACC all condition control. And the reason why the branding is on the heel as opposed to on the tongue is because this was something that was originally incorporated into the design of the Maestri 3. It was the original shoe to feature it, Every single colorway of the Maestri 3 features ACC, whereas the other Nike shoes only feature ACC if you buy one of the newer colorways. A lot of the launch colorways did not have that particular feature, other than, of course, the Nike Mercurial Vapor 9, which is a newer model. Now, as far as the heel liner on the inside here, it is suede all the way around the heel and ankle collar, providing great comfort, really locks your heel in place, and really makes for a very easy break-in time. The shoe itself is very flexible from right out of the box, so break-in time is not really that much of an issue. And you do have an internal plastic heel counter as well to provide that little bit of extra protection and support. I'll remove the insole very quickly here so you can get a good look at that. You do have a black insole here with your total crimson orange accents here on the heel. A little bit of kind of texturing here at the forefoot to provide that extra grip. And it does have like a synthetic leather liner over top. Fairly minimalistic insole for a shoe of this type. You have some perforations going through there. It's a fairly thin foam. There's not a whole lot of cushioning all the way through, but it definitely does get the job done. Moving on to the outsole and stud pattern, you can see the outsole itself does not feature the same type of plastic Nike uses on their other sole plates. Instead, it's a much thinner, much more rigid, responsive plastic on here. And again, the idea is to be as low profile as possible and provide that nice responsive feel. And as far as plastic stud patterns go, this is going to be the stiffest one that I've ever used and the stiffest one that's currently out there on the market. So for the most part, it feels and performs very, very good. Now, the stud pattern itself is kind of exclusive to the CTR360 Maestri line. It's a similar layout to what you're going to find on the Legend, but the studs themselves are shaped a little bit differently, smaller, penetrate the ground a little bit more easily, and you have your bladed studs here on the outside with your rounded studs here on the instep, if you guys can see that. So they have kind of like a half circle shape, whereas the ones on the outside are more of a rectangle shape. And the reasoning for that is because the studs on the outside are designed to provide more grip at push-off and planting, whereas the studs on the instep, where you're going to be twisting and turning, are going to allow for a quicker release when you are sprinting and kind of releasing your feet from the ground, and just going to allow for a little bit more maneuverability, like I said, when you are twisting and turning. Overall, the stud pattern performs really, really well, and I just like the whole stud pattern and sole plate combo because it is very, very low profile and just keeps you low to the ground, making for a very stable and nimble feel when they are on your feet. So that's pretty much it as far as the unboxing portion of this video goes, and move on to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these shoes are. If you were to guess the weight of the Maestri 3 based on how it looks, you'd probably guess somewhere around 9 to 10 ounces, but the shoe itself is actually a little bit lighter than that, both in hand and on feet. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.2 ounces. So that's pretty lightweight for a shoe like this that's going to provide this much in the way of protection. So if you are looking for a fairly protective boot that's still going to provide a lightweight feel, then the Maestri 3 is definitely a really solid option. So that's pretty much it as far as the weigh-in portion of this video goes. And I'll move on to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit. Here's a look at the Maestri 3's on feet. And from right out of the box, the shoes are pretty much game ready with little to no break-in time required. This is mainly due to the Kangalite synthetic being so soft and flexible, but give it a couple hours of wear time and the shoes will break in for you and become even softer and more comfortable, which is definitely a good thing. Now, I was actually sent the wrong size for this particular pair, and they do fit my feet, but for those of you guys that have read my review and asked questions about the sizing for this shoe, you will have noticed that I recommend going a half size up in the Maestri as opposed to any other model from Nike. So I'm wearing a size 9 here as opposed to my usual size 9.5 I would normally wear in the Maestri. And you can see the fit in the length is very, very tight. My toes are actually kind of cramped in there. They're curled a little bit just so my feet can actually fit in the shoe. So like I said, if you are looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going a half size up for the most comfortable and secure fit. Going true to size, you may end up having a shoe that is just way too tight. Even though the leather will stretch a little bit, it's still a synthetic, so it's not going to have the same amount of stretch to it that a natural leather will. As far as the width of the shoe goes, it does have a slightly tighter fitting toe box and forefoot area, whereas there is a little bit more width through the midfoot, but for the most part, this isn't an overly wide fitting shoe in my opinion. So that's pretty much it as far as the on-feet portion of this video goes, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing plus on-feet video of the Nike CTR360 Maestri 3. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to check out the full written performance review for this guy, I will leave a direct link down below in the description to that review page. On that same review page, you're also going to find the high quality images of this exact pair here, as well as buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes to get you some additional discounts if you are interested in ordering a pair. If you have any questions regarding this shoe, feel free to leave a comment down below. And if you guys could leave a like on the video as well, it would be greatly appreciated. If If you're not subscribed already, be sure to hit that subscribe button for daily videos on all the latest soccer gear. And if you guys do want to follow me on any of the latest social media platforms, you can find links in the description to my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. And as always, thanks for watching.